Hi, folks. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. We are going to stand by for just about one more minute and wait and see if we get some other folks to join us here on YouTube. So stand by and we'll get started. Okay, folks, we are going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully more people will join in, or maybe they're out doing nice things on a nice day, and we'll come back and watch this later. So just remember, you're welcome to ask your questions. If you put them in the chat, we will try to answer them here. If we don't get to them here, we will get to them later. As a reminder, we had on the screen before the way to get information. There it is right there. You can always give us a call, 707-572-4860. If you can't see that, 707-572-4860. Or you can email us at 2024.boise@firenet.gov. Always just a reminder of the other ways to get information. So if you don't know me, my name's Adrienne Freeman. I'm a public information officer with California Team 10. And we did have a few questions already come in, so I'm just going to go ahead and address those before we have our operations summary with Sean Burt over here. Somebody asked earlier about the traffic control that will go between Butler Flat and Nordheimer. We're not exactly sure whether that's going to start tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning. At this point, we don't know exactly, but we will keep you posted. It will be between Butler and Nordheimer roughly. We are working to make sure that we're not boxing people in who are trying to go west from Butler or east from Forks to get out. So we are making a few adjustments, and we'll probably make a few as we go along to ensure that we're being as efficient as possible for our resources and for residents, but also keeping our folks and you guys safe on those roads out there. So just stay tuned. Thanks for your patience on that. We will let you know. Also, we did have a question about emergency access during that time. We will have folks with fire radios in the area to make sure that if we do have emergency resources that need to get access, that we can be as timely as possible with getting them down that road safely. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Sean Burt, who's our operations section chief, to walk you around the map.
Hey, good afternoon. Sean Burt, Deputy Operations Trainee on the Boise Fire with California Incident Management Team 10. I want to start with yesterday's weather. I think everybody saw that we got quite a bit of moisture in some areas, other areas not so much. It was pretty sporadic throughout the fire area. Over here in Romeo, they had a decent wetting rain, while over in Yankee Alpha, it was kind of pretty light, just like what we experienced down in New Orleans. So all in all, the rain that we got was great. It definitely made the fire behavior more tame, but it did not put the fire out. So last night we had crews out, Division Echo and Alpha. They continued to patrol their lines from basically the Orleans Mountain Road down the flank all the way to LeParon Flat. It was looking pretty good, pretty quiet through the night. We ended up bringing those crews in last night in the Echo Alpha area, and they're reallocated to day shift. Down in Yankee, they remained vigilant. They were picking up rollout along those steep roads, along the Red Cap Creek road systems. They did go direct on a slop over that we had. They put in hand line, hose lays, and they have that. It was about 20 acres that slopped off into the red salmon fire scar. They were able to bring it back into that this line that we're hoping to use as our southern containment. So for today, we'll start up on the north side. Echo and Alpha, they continued holding, securing all of our fire lines. They're out there, they're mopping up, trying to get as much depth that they can to ensure that it stays put. Down south here in Yankee, they continue prepping and holding the lines, securing the lines that have made it down to the road systems and our hand lines. They continue to mop up and secure the slop over that came over off that ridge into the red salmon fire scar, and they're pushing their way eastward. In Union, they continued east. They went direct on this section right here. They have got that pretty well secured. They're still holding it. They're still mopping up, and now they're starting to work their way south along the old hand line that was in place for the red salmon fire. By the end of today, they're thinking they'll make it up to Salmon Mountain. So going over to Tango, they continue to be opening up all the old dozer lines from the red salmon and the Butler fire. They're working their way north towards Nordheimer, and Romeo is doing the same. They're starting with hand line first, and then once they get to the ridgetop, they'll transition to dozer line. From there, once that's all in, they will be plumbing it. That's a lot of hose, but we got a lot of horsepower, and it will just help make this way more secure as we see where this fire progresses here in the future. Up in Lima, we got 5 hotshot crews. They're currently up there working towards each other. 2 started from Nordheimer, and we got 3 coming in from the Echo side from Orleans Peak. They're working towards each other. They're still about 2 miles apart. They'll be staying up there tonight. We're flying in supplies. They'll be bedded down out there. They'll be able to pick right back up where they left off first thing in the morning, which is great. And over in the Salmon River drainage, they're continuing to do structure assessment and protection measures. You'll see them out there. They're starting to string out pumps, hoses, and sprinkler kits, and they'll be also just doing assessments as the fire progresses. Overall, our overall strategy is to keep the fire as small as possible. We did send crews in there to take a look to see what it looked like if they could go direct. They did not feel comfortable with the extraction times. It's a lot of exposure getting folks in there, and where the fire was sitting, it just didn't give us that opportunity. So that's why we're focusing on our primary indirect lines right through here. Once they're in place, we might take another look at that, but we want to make sure that this is secure and the communities of Nordheimer and Forks are secure prior to us investing resources into that. That's pretty much it for the update.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you questions. Is this live? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna ask questions. So we're considering that indirect line there as essentially the first thing we're going to put in. What's the second option?
The second option would be more looking at what was used past in the Butler fire, is making sure that the lines in the structures there are in place. We don't want to go down there. Once again, we want to keep it as small as possible, and we might even start looking at some of these other spur ridges once we come in that might give us opportunities to keep it small. But this would, they've already experienced fire back there before. They're pretty fire safe already. So right now we're still focusing on Nordheimer Ridge, and once that's in place, we'll look at options to maybe tighten up that box.
Okay, and then next question is, we've been moving a ton of resources into the Forks of Salmon area. Let's have either you or Tim talk a little bit about what that progression operationally looks like and what you can expect to see in the communities around Forks and Butler Flat?
Well, I'm sure those who are in there realize there's a lot more equipment, engines, hand crews, etc. And of course, the engine crews are assessing all the structures from Nordheimer up to Forks of Salmon and further up. They will be doing some prep work as that progresses. And in the meantime, our logistics folks are securing land use agreements for a full camp in Forks. And, most of the access for that camp would end up coming through Fort Jones Etna. So hopefully we'll reduce some of the impact on the narrows in the Salmon River Road. So that's our goal, and eventually, but that's going to take several days to get built and put in place. The forest and the leadership of our team have met, and both forests and the team have done a complexity analysis to look at the future of this fire and feel that there will be a need to have another team come in behind us. So we will be in place until the 24th, and another team will be moving in a few days before that to start shadowing with our folks and getting a good lay of the land and a good handoff, so that there's no misses on where we have resources and where we have lines and etc. But again, a lot of activity will be happening in the Forks, and that drove that need for the traffic control, because no one wants to be in the narrows and have to come head to head with a strike team of engines and figure out where they can get off the road enough to let them all go by. So this should just help kind of make it smoother for everybody involved for that traffic control. We are working with the local folks that have, the bus route, the postal route, etc., trying to ensure that the times that they need in and out are met, and we'll make sure that any emergencies become the first priority. We would have folks in the area as well, that fire personnel that could assist with that until an ambulance could get through. But we will do everything we can to ensure that emergency services have the first priority, and that's it.
Okay, and so we've talked a lot about the eastern side of this fire. I don't want you to think that we're abandoning the west side of this fire. There still will be personnel here in Orleans or nearby. And do you want to Sean, address what we kind of have going on for Orleans right now and for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, so they've already been in there. They've already done some good structure assessments down here in the Red Cap communities. We are not abandoning this line altogether. Just because we pulled back off of our night shift, we still have day resources out there. Currently up there, I think everybody knows this area. This is pretty steep, rugged terrain. We do have 4 hand crews that are in on this line that are holding it. They're mopping it up. It's all plumbed, and we're going to stay there until there is no threat at all. Continuing down south, we'll continue and secure these lines and prep as we can to make sure that we have a good line system that ties into the red salmon fire lines, so we can fire this little section out and create good hard black, so there's no chance for that to come back and affect any of this work that we've already had in place. Yeah, and currently there is a night scheduled for Alpha, Yankee, and Union, and they would be available if anything flared up there.
Okay, so with all of this fire, and with once again talking about this fire as being a long-term event for this organization, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about smoke and managing smoke. And we're all perfectly aware and live it too in our own communities that it's not just as easy as closing windows and turning on air conditioners. Most of us don't have air conditioners in California. So the best thing really that you can do is keep yourself informed. we have an air resources advisor here on the fire. He is putting out smoke reports every day. I know a lot of you guys use the Purple Air, where you can actually test air quality in your own home. Keep doing that. Bear with us. We are working to get this fire out just as quickly as possible and are just as concerned about those smoke effects as you are. So I'm actually not seeing any questions in the chat, and I'm just going to do the awkward quiet pause, or Sean could sing, but we tried that earlier, and it's okay. And just see if anybody has a question. And one headline I should mention: we are going to do another public meeting in Forks of Salmon, hoping for that Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Tuesday night at 5 p.m. at the community club in Forks of Salmon. Also, if you are in Forks of Salmon and you need information, we do have staff down there every single day and boards set up, and you always know how to get in touch with us if you need to. So with that, and seeing nothing, we will say have a good day. I'm sure we will see you again, and we will do this again, and keep asking us your questions. Let's have Tim just quickly close us out, and have a good day.
Well, thank you for those who attended. And again, the information is always available. So if you have any questions, reach out, and we will try to answer those as soon as possible. Any concerns, and all of our staff is readily available to help you with that. So thank you for attending, and have a great day.